Welcome, friends, to this series of learning containers and Kubernetes. So, in the last lecture, we saw how we can manage the releases of different versions of the same application. If you have missed that video, we are encouraging you to watch that video. We are providing the link of the videos in the description below. Now, in this particular video, we will see how we can back up the entire image into a flat file, and maybe we can use that file to be stored in Google Cloud Storage Bucket, S3 bucket, or any other cloud storage bucket. And we can store that particular flat file, and we can restore that file easily to build one different image which will have the same content of the earlier one. Now let's jump to the console and we will see how this can be on action. So friends, this is our console, and we can see in the last lecture, to recap this thing, we committed one running container with an image which is my app version 1.1, as well as we had one image which is version 1.0. Now in this 1.0, there is no version mentioned in the output, but it is saying it is the second version of the same application which we saw in the browser, web browser, when we access the application. So we ran two Docker containers, and one of the Docker containers was running with version 1 and the second one with version 2. Now, in this particular lecture, first we will use this version 1.0, and maybe we can try to have this version 1.0 to be exported in a flat file. So let's clear the screen, and we can use this particular command, docker save -o myapp.v1.0.tar, which is a file name where this myapp version 1.0 Docker image will be saved as this flat file. So let's run this command. It will take some time, and once it is completed, I'll be back. Okay, friends, so our command prompt is back, and if we check the ls-ltr, we can see there is a new file which is myapp version 1.0.tar is actually available. Now, let's do one thing. Let me clear everything. So let me stop all the containers and let me down our Docker Compose, and let me clean everything. I will remove all the containers. I'll remove all the Docker images, and I will clean the network and everything. And then we will see how we can use the flat file that we have created right now, whether we can restore the Docker image from that flat file or not. So I have already removed the network, and then I'm going to remove the volume and everything. We are having the images, and maybe I can just remove all the images right now. Okay, and also let me prune to clean up all the dangling images from there in the system, and we have almost reclaimed 594 MB in the OS. So let me clear the screen and let me quickly check what I have done. So let me check ps-a, there is no running or stopped container. If we say Docker image, there is no images available. And if we say Docker network ls, we can see only the default networks are there. If we see Docker volume ls, we can see there is no volume at all. So now we are having this flat file, myapp v1 1.0.tar, and we can see how we can load this particular file to get back our images. So let me load the flat file again to get our image back. So we can see it is actually started to loading the layers one by one from this particular flat file, and it is building the Docker image, and it is restoring back the Docker image layer by layer. So let it go on, and we can see how it has loaded the image my app version 1.0, from where exactly we actually, if we go back to this screen, we can see my app 1.0 was actually exported, and right now exactly the same my app version 1.0 is back. If we check Docker images, we can see my app version 1.0 is back. Now, we can try to create the network and create the MySQL database that we dropped earlier in the lecture, and we can see whether we can run the container from there. So we have created this particular private network, root private net, and within the subnet range 10.2.0.0/16, which is a bridge network. So any container which will be created inside this cannot be accessed to the external world. And we will run our database, which is MySQL database, and we will put one IP address, which is 10.2.0.2, which is inside this particular range. And we're going to provide the same user ID and password. And we are specifying this private network to be used to run the container. And we are also mapping the same volume so that whatever the data we had in slash data, because we did not remove or deleted or anything, we did not touch anything in slash data. So we can hope that all the data is actually protected and is safe. So let me run this particular command. So as we don't have any MySQL image, it is trying to fetch the image from the Docker Hub, and it is right now extracting the image. It's already pulled the image. It's now extracting, and now it is running the container. So if we see, we are having this MySQL server, which is going on inside the private network. Now, let me run the My app from the image that we have just restored, that is My app version 1.0. So let me run this command, docker run -d, which will run the container in a background mode. And we are going to provide these environment variables for connecting to the database. So the database host, we are providing 10.2.0.2, which is exactly the IP address of this MySQL database container. And this time we are going to port 8080 of the host machine with the port 5000 of the container. So we need to access our web browser from this 8080 port of our host machine. And this particular app, as usual, we are going to use two networks. One is private networks to communicate with the database server, and the external database, external network to communicate with external world. So if we do so, we can see the root mynet is not found. Obviously, we did not create the mynet. So let me create this root mynet, and it is created, and we can run the same command once again. And we need to remove the container. Otherwise, we cannot use the same name. So we can use my app version 1, and now we can run the same command to run the my Python application. So if we check the Docker PS, the running containers, we can see the two containers are running. One is for Python app, another one is for the MySQL server. Now let's jump to the web browser and see HT80 port, how it is going to be shown. Now see, we have taken this image for version 1, so there should not be any message like this is the second container or this is the second application from the web browser. Let's go to this web browser and we can type our external IP address. So if we check the external IP address is ifconfig me, and it is 34.172.109.241. It is exactly this one, and port number 8080. Now, if we do so, we can see our Streamlit application is going to be running very soon. And we should not see any kind of second version of this uh, application because we took the export of the first version, and this is how we can see the first version of the application. If we click the show items, we can see all the data inside this database is actually restored back as well. So thank you for watching this video. In this particular video, we saw how we can maintain our Docker images and Docker containers by taking the backup of the images, and we can safely back up this particular file in any cloud storage bucket or archival location. And whenever there is a system crash or whenever there is a situation where the repository is not available, we can easily download this particular flat file in tar format, and we can restore the database, restore the Docker images from the flat file. So thank you for watching this video. I am sure that you have enjoyed the video a lot, and we will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Be safe.